Hello and welcome. Today we're going to study power of a quotient. So we're going to start by looking at this kind of a problem. A quotient, remember, is something that's a division problem. And when we have a power of a division problem, that's the part that we would need to look at today. So if I have something like this, 2x squared over 3b to the fifth, all raised to the fourth power, this is what I need to look at. Well, I'm going to take a break from that. I'm going to look over here and think for a moment about if I have x over y raised to the third. Remember that this means x over y times x over y times x over y. The thing times itself 3 times. And with these kind of multiplication of fractions, this means x times x times x over y times y, which means x to the third over y to the third. So if we have x over y to the third, that is equal to x to the third over y to the third. Which means we can take the exponent that's on the outside of the fraction, or the division problem, and raise the top to that power, and then raise the bottom to that power. So power of a quotient rule, if we have x over y raised to the n, we can take the top to the n, and we can take the bottom to the n. This is the power of a quotient rule. Here are some other ones that we've studied before. We know that when we have a product of two things, x times y to the n, this is equal to, we can take x to the n and y to the n. We've learned that before. And we've also learned power to power before. That if we have a power raised to a power, we simply multiply those exponents. And those are going to help us here as we do this problem. So let's come back to our problem now. We've got a couple things we can use. The first is when we have a fraction or division problem and we have this exponent on the outside, this power of a quotient rule says that we can take the fourth power of the numerator and we can take the fourth power of the denominator. So then how do we do this? Well, when we have two things multiplied and both of them raised to a power, that's what we really have here. Two things multiplied and raised to a power. We can take the first to the power, then the second to the power. So because of this, we can make this 2 to the fourth and x squared to the fourth. And we know x squared to the fourth is x to the eighth. Here, we can take the bottom, same thing. We can make this 3 to the fourth, and we can make this, actually I probably skipped a step there, this should be b to the fifth to the fourth. So let's be accurate here and do it the same way, and let's make this x squared to the fourth. So we're taking this to the power, and then this to the power. Same thing here, we're taking the 3 to the fourth, and then the b to the fifth to the fourth. That's because of this rule. Now, how this works out, well, 2 to the fourth, we know that is 16. 3 to the fourth, that is 81. 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. This is a power raised to a power. That's this rule down here. Power raised to a power. So that is x to the eighth. And this is power raised to a power, b to the fifth to the fourth. I know I multiply those exponents. So this is b to the 20th. So here's my answer. Power of a quotient. We can use all of these rules together to get this. Here is one problem to try. 3x to the fifth over 2y to the fourth all to the third. Go ahead and pause the video. Try this one. Pause. Now check your answer. If your answer is correct, you're finished. Just ask one question. Thank you. Have a great day.